Good evening, city of Ekoli. The time is exactly 27 minutes before the hour 8, and you are tuned into UJFM 95.4 beats of intellectual swag. My name is Linda Khumalo, and you are listening to the General Public Affair. And yes, we are still in African Insights, and we are still having a lovely conversation with Mathabo and Tony.
Hello.
Yeah. So in getting on, I'd like to know, should we develop a terminology for science, engineering, and technology and mathematics in our own African indigenous languages?
If we take ourselves seriously, yes. If we actually taking this whole conversation of Africanism and decolonization, and we need to understand that African languages need to play catch up with regards to particular professional jargon. Professor Kunju, he is a Rhodes professor, former Rhodes professor, and he just published his PhD, and he looks into things like that. I know I was in his class in second year, and we were looking at technology and terminology and such. It's important. We can't be philosophical about this. It needs to be as pragmatic as understanding what a toothpick is in Xhosa. Understanding what a cell phone is in isiZulu. So yes, we need to play catch up.
I think also another thing, people need to get out of this space of thinking that like African languages cannot progress and develop. People are convinced that since we are behind and we're playing catch up, that we will never catch up. And I think it's nonsense. Every day, the way we speak and the way we use our languages are flexible as all the other languages, and also capable of as much growth, if not more. So we need to first also get ourselves out the space of like African languages are boxed and this is all they are and this is all they will be. Even the way we are taught languages, I think it's unfortunate. They teach, I don't know, it feels like a very old and drudged version of the languages that it seems like it's not going anywhere. And people then inculcate that. And that is a big problem. That is a big problem. We need to see our language as elastic as other language, as things that can adapt and learn about other things and articulate themselves too. Not just see them as old and downtrodden versions of a language, you know?
But to be fair, when we look at this thing of devising terminology in indigenous languages, it almost seems like a mammoth task. And we look at this undermining our power. I mean, look at us now. We're devising words such as dab. Dab was a dance, but from it being a dance, a person is literally saying, I'm going to dab for 2 hours and get up and go study. The language has evolved as we live in it. So if we own our languages in such a sense, where our languages are part of us, that we grow with them, and we grow with them in context, people need to take the liberty of saying, actually, in my mind, this mouse, Microsoft right? We need to own it as individuals, so it becomes a domino effect. So we can dominate as a collective.
I think another thing which is a difficulty is that people feel pressure to have our language reflect almost the kind of, I don't know, reflect English in a certain way. Even with this mouse situation.
Calling it impuku. It resonates with a white depiction.
That is a problem also that we need to overcome, because it creates barriers for our language growing.
But now, how do we go about in terms of teaching society that English is not superior than any other indigenous language?
For me,
because people, like in society, you can go outside here at the student center, you'll find people from the townships, but obviously they're twanging. They're twanging, speaking English. They don't speak their own Tsotsitaal or their own genuine Zulu or their own genuine Xhosa.
I don't even know who society is. Let's just start there. Right? Show me society. I will teach them. But I don't know who society is. I can only take from what my mom has done, right? Which is to make it personal, to make it us. It's a family thing, right? The initial demographic for me, before we can look at anything, when you look at leadership, we start at family. When we look at how to relate with people, we start at family. Family is a microcosm of what inverted commas society is.
Okay, since you're taking it personal, let's make it personal. So please tell us a bit about Mathabo and what Mathabo does. I know that you work within arts.
Yeah. So Mathabo Tlali is an actress. She's a writer. She's a director. And she co-founded a production company called Siaka Inc., which is currently touring a piece called Yellow Man by Dale Orlando Smith. It's been around the city for quite a bit. And it's going to be at Pop-Art Theatre on the 5th and the 6th of June. And yeah, we'll be taking it to the National Arts Festival.
Can you just give us a sneak preview, or just give us a glimpse of
an idea
or a synopsis of Yellow Man?
Sure. So Yellow Man in and of itself is a piece that originates from the South, so the American South, right? And it is a relationship between Alma and Eugene. Alma is a larger, darker-skinned woman, and Eugene is a tall, chiseled, light-skinned man. And we are exploring what that is then, the dynamic of them falling in love, what it means to be the better black in the situation, how love looks within the constraints of there's a word I want to use which is inappropriate. This is like a PG. So how love looks within barriers, right?
Yeah.
So it is the equivalent essentially of a romance between a white and a black person, but now we're looking at colorism. We're looking at the conversation between black people. When I'm lighter, I'm better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yellow bone things.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that relationship, and for me, that has been an incredibly personal. As for my co-star Jacques de Silva, it was also directed by Tshego Khutswane. So it's a healthy cast.
So within your art and craft, how would you link the importance of our indigenous African languages?
Listen here, black people who are actors and actresses, do not allow our language to be used as an accessory to pocket white directors and white producers. Because that's what's happening, right? When white directors and white producers are calling out for actors to speak in like African language. Just give me Africa, just give me... So essentially we are just here being your puppets, right? And we're accessorizing. So it makes it African just because I'm speaking the language, but it doesn't resonate with Africa because the narrative is not imbued in the language. So we have a one-dimensional take of what it means to be African just because I'm speaking isiXhosa. It's an African piece. No, whereas the lifestyle that I'm portraying is Africa according to a white person's lens. That is an issue, right? So what does it mean for me as a black person in the space to take ownership of the space, but still respecting what it means to be a director? So, and also, what entitles you to write about black people and to direct black people when you're not writing about white guilt? And because it's not as if white people don't have anything to write about. What does it mean to be, inverted commas, a liberal white person, and you go into your family in Kalani who still thinks Jabulani is Sizwe on the other day? Do you know what I mean? He's Sizwe today, he's Jabulani tomorrow, he's Inati the other day. What does it mean? That angst. You wanting to tell your grandmother, actually you are entirely inappropriate and you disgust me. But you, my family, I love you. So those stories are stories that we hear, but we are so happy to have black bodies on the stage filled with blood, black bodies being, you know what I mean? Having a violent take on what it means to be the black body. When last did I watch black people just falling in love and just, it's a story about love, guys, like, oh my goodness, these people just love each other. And yes, we have tragedies around love, but a man and a woman in Johannesburg in 2017 falling in love. I don't know that story. I know a story of black people hurting each other. I know stories of, I've seen blood and rape on stage. I haven't seen black people holding each other and seeing each other and loving each other. And that's who we are. That's what I am, right?
So what you're saying is our stories should be written by us.
Yeah. I think stories should be written by us. I think we need to support each other monetarily as well, because the issue of access is also a thing. So I could write a brilliant story about two people who fall in love. I can write a brilliant story about how a mother is just incredible in her leadership within the family space. But if I don't have money to take it into fancy theaters, if I don't have money to have it travel, it's just as good as it being a tweet that's going to be retweeted and forgotten.
Yeah, Mathabo, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. I really enjoyed today's show, but time is not on our side, so the conversations can carry on Twitter at UJFM, at Smevzinto, hashtag the general public affair, hashtag African Insights, and Mathabo, they can catch you on your Twitter handle, which is?
Yes, at Nkosazana ZA, and you can also catch me on Instagram. That's Mathabo_Tlali, TLALI. And on Facebook, no, not really. I only accept people I know on Facebook. Love you guys.
Howdy.
Antonio, what's your Twitter handle?
Hey man, I don't have a Twitter right now. I'm pretty busy working on that.
What is it because of your handle?
Hey, we leave that for another time.
Okay, for now, let's take a young break. I'll be back with the Classic Generation team to give you all the latest in entrepreneurship. But for now, good music, good vibes.